The Guiding Voice is all about excitements, and we have another excitement today. And I'm super thrilled to announce the new series, Slice of Hope, which is driven in collaboration with HopeWorks. And our guest for today is Women Lead India Fellow, Executive Leadership Coach, and who is driving social impact at a large scale. And she's an architect of Million Girls March to College. And she's a public speaker and also an author. Jacintha Jayachandran is the managing trustee of Hope Skip Jump Foundation. And as we prepare to delve into our very first conversation of this series on the topic at hand, empowering 1 million girls, here is an exciting twist. So we are going to tickle the brains of our guest Jacintha. Jacintha, get ready for a quick rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response to without thinking much. And let's dive right in if you're ready.
Sure, Naveen. And it's HopeWorks Foundation. Hope Skip Jump is our website.
Right. HopeWorks Foundation. Perfect. Thanks for correcting. Now let's get started with the first word is hope.
Energy.
Invention.
Life.
Future.
For everyone.
Book.
Knowledge.
Movie.
Fun.
Food.
Food. Pleasure.
Education.
Make it available for every child in the world.
Heart moving. I loved it. And then name.
Identity.
Animal.
So much grace.
Okay. Finally, planet.
For everyone equally.
Superb. And thanks for participating so sportively and also answering so crisply, Jessy. So, folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on the transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value to your life and also to your career. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Jessy, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. Thank you so much for being part of our journey.
Naveen, I must thank you for having me here. This is very important for us and for the work that we do.
Pleasure to conduct this series and always there to support any nonprofit and any of these kind of noble initiatives because it goes very well with the mission with which the Guiding Voice platform is started. And I'm super grateful for getting this opportunity. So on this note, I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to Kavita Garla, who has been a great support system for the Guiding Voice platform. She has been connecting me with amazing people like you. And also she has proposed this wonderful series. So I'm thankful for her. And let's dive into our conversation. And apart from HopeWorks, I would also like to know about you so that our audience get to know you better in terms of what are certain things that have attributed to your success, right? So that is where we will start. My first question here is, what is your success mantra? What are the top 3 things that have attributed to your success and helped you reach where you are today?
Naveen, I wouldn't even call myself successful. I think I would call myself as someone who's striving every day because success could mean so many things to so many people. And for me, it has meant so many different things over a course of life, right? I've been, I think, a working woman for 30 years, and I claim that identity as the first one. Okay. A mother, of course, and a lovely child, 25 years. He's not going to like it to be called a child, I guess, anymore. And of course, all my other family responsibilities. But I think what has really helped me don the multiple hats, take on the multiple roles, which I have consciously chosen. It has not been something that, happened to me by accident. I have consciously chosen these. Are, I think, 3 traits that I recognize about myself. One is I'm very fearless. I don't get scared. I think which makes me take risks which might otherwise look very frightening sometimes. And I'm sure there are people who try to find out why would you take a risk like this, right? To just give an example, during COVID, when we saw the migrant crisis emerge on the television, next day morning, I was cooking at home and taking it out into the road when there was a complete lockdown. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of my family members, a lot of friends were asking, isn't this risky?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, it is. But you know what is a greater risk? There are people who are hungry and who have no hope, who have no money. Isn't that a bigger risk?
Indeed. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I think that is one, be fearless and do what you can. I'm not saying do, but what you can. The second thing I think is I've always been a very willing listener and learner. I'm constantly interacting with people. It doesn't matter where they are from, what they do, what's their age, nothing. I think everybody has something to make you learn from. So that to me is the most exciting part. And I think the third trait is I learned social work. My post graduation was in social work. There's been, I think, as a person, a very deep sense of empathy, which I recognize now. And I think that motivates me. And so when you sort of look at why I do what I do, right? I have to answer this to myself every day to keep, telling myself why I do what I do. I think it's because if you're empathetic and you see the need, and you are willing to take a few risks and do stuff which might otherwise seem frightening, and you're willing to learn, you're willing to fail, you're willing to listen, and see yourself as a person who's striving every day, I would look at myself as that person.
Truly inspirational. And again, your courage has been really visible during the COVID times. It makes a lot of difference. And in fact, being fearless when nobody knows what is going to happen, right? Especially during those kind of things, I think that might have inspired many people around you as well, for sure. And now let's talk about the HopeWorks Foundation. I think you started this about 3 years ago. So please share your calling with our audience. How did this happen? Like what triggered?
Naveen, I was working in corporates for almost 27 years. And I realized I wanted to get into social impact space before I turned 50. So, when I was 49 years old and about, 27 years, I think, in corporate, I lived, studied, born, everything in Bangalore. So I wanted to go back to my own school, and I, studied in a government-aided school, Naveen. I went back to the principal to ask, what is it that I can do for girl children? And my focus has always been girls and women. And that's for another day to discuss why. So I went and asked the principal, Sister Pauline, what can I do for the children? She just kept looking at me for a long time and she says, what do you do now? So I said, I work in corporates. I train leaders. I mentor and coach people across corporate leadership. And she just looked at me and she asked a question. She said, I can teach my girls subjects. Can you teach them hope? She said, for the first time, I think I was in a state where I didn't know what the answer was. For the first time, I was thinking, so what is hope? Can it be taught? Yeah. And can it be taught in a way that is relevant to young kids? And I actually took time from her. I said, give me time. Let me go back and research this and come back and tell you. So I took a 3-month sabbatical. I was researching on hope. I met up with Professor Rick Miller from Arizona State University, who's done work in hope all his life. He was at that time the CEO of Kids at Hope. I spoke to Dr. Saju Skaria, who is the founder for Kids at Hope. And I realized hope is a science. It's a toolkit. You can learn, you can teach, you can role model. And on that day, I heard a story, Naveen, if we have the time, I could share it, right? He spoke about this child who was 13 or 14 at that time, daughter of a single parent. And the mother would work as a janitor in the nights. And so the child got to meet her mother only after she came from college, school, and her mother would be going to work, right?
Yeah.
And they would again meet in the morning and sort of cross each other, And so the only time they really got with each other was the weekends in some ways, right? Yeah. One day morning when she woke up, like a regular day, she had her neighbor aunt and telling her, your mom's been taken unwell, so I'd like to take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
And the child reaches the hospital and sees that her mother is attached to a lot of machines and obviously struggling. Mm-hmm. And the doctor tells this young adolescent kid just and that too with a single parent, that her mother's not going to make it. She's had a very bad stroke in the night.
Yeah.
And this is the time for her to sort of be there with her mother and say her goodbyes, because after that, they will take her off the supporting machines. So just imagine something like that for you and me. Apparently, the child held the mother's hand,
Mhm.
and while saying her goodbye, also sort of sang the hope anthem they were taught in school.
Wow.
It's a very powerful hope anthem.
Mhm.
And when he told me this story, and this is at about 8:39 my time, and of course early morning for him, both of us were almost in tears. And he said, I met her the next year in that school, and I asked her, what made you sing the anthem? And
Yeah.
apparently the child said, I wanted my mother to go knowing I'm capable of taking care of myself. I said, if we can make every child and every girl child believe that, irrespective of the situation that you are in right now,
Yeah.
if you can still look ahead and say, I can take care of myself in the future, to me, that is hope. And I said, this is something that we need to teach our children. And that's how I started. And I gathered a lot of my friends, and I must say, my friends like Sanjay, Kajal, they're all
Mhm.
professional friends and colleagues. Or we just met up in this journey of hope in 2019. We
Mhm.
started working girls from 8th to 12th standard in one school, Naveen.
Mhm.
And at the end of the year, which is 2020, when COVID was just beginning to become the buzzword, we were analyzing the work that we had done with the girls. And we asked them, what does it mean for you that you went through so many sessions, you met with so many people, you heard so many stories? And 99%, I think it was 99.5% of the children said, I believe I can take care of myself.
Mhm.
I think I have a future.
Mhm.
And we didn't ask them specifically, are you feeling hopeful? Do you think you have a future? It is just that that was the outcome of having done this for a year. And then I got the confidence to set it up as a not for profit. So we went and registered, and exactly I think 2 to 3 weeks after that, COVID lockdown came. I narrate this to everybody. Even our bank account forms went into quarantine. Okay, so it was a very interesting start to
Mhm.
the foundation itself. And I believe it taught us we are a baby of uncertainty,
Mhm.
right? We were born in the most uncertain times. And I prefer to use the word for purpose organization rather than not for profit,
Yeah.
because I think purpose guides us. We don't look at the profit, the not profit part of it. I'm
Yeah.
really looking from a for purpose perspective. And I think that's what keeps us going through
Yeah.
all the fear of COVID and infections and lack of money. You just rise up every day saying, this is very purposeful. So I think that in some ways is the journey of why we started HopeWorks and how we started. Yes, as a formal entity, we've completed 3 years, Naveen, now. This March we
Mhm.
completed. To just give off some numbers, of course, we started with one school in our first program. Today we are across 7 schools in Bangalore
Mhm.
and trying to go into about 40 villages in Tamil Nadu in Dindigul district. We impact about 2,500 girls in our school program at this point in time,
Wow.
so that every child believes she has a future.
Yeah.
We also started the second program, which is called the Hope Citizen Program. Like, imagine everybody talks about global citizen. I'm saying be a citizen of hope. It's not a physical entity. It's an entity that covers everything else, including the physical entity. If you're a citizen of hope, you really belong everywhere. Your
Mhm.
identity is boundaryless in some ways. And the Hope Citizen Program we launched in 2021. 8 girls came to us saying, I need scholarship. You told me I have a future, that I could study, that I could do this. Now I have no money. My parents, most of them are daily wage earners, and they were all really not having any money, right? So we started this program with 8 girls right here in my living room, and we evolved the program as we went. The second year, we started with about 64 students. Right now, we have 274 students on the program, and we are hoping that by end of 2023 and early 24, we would have supported 1,000 girls to go into college. And that's
Mhm.
why the March of the Million, I keep saying, hopefully by the end of this decade, we would have gotten 1 million kids, girls
Mhm.
to march into college.
Mhm.
That is really our ambition.
Yeah.
That's what we're working towards.
So, yeah, great. So, reflecting on what you mentioned, for profits is something so impactful. I think folks, whoever is watching this episode or listening to this, stop calling not for profit or non governmental or any other terms, but probably for purpose organization makes a lot of sense, and that will actually instill the purpose in everybody that is contributing to the cause. So that is so powerful. And also, I wish that this million girls march to college will become a huge success. Okay, and I'm sure folks that are watching or listening to this episode will also come forward and support to this brilliant initiative, and
Thank you.
so for the for such a noble purpose for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm just curious, what are you guys doing to make every girl child think, feel, believe, and live equally? Like you have mentioned
Wow.
about these initiatives, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. We want, so, when I got selected for Women Lead
Mm.
India fellowship, right? It was an honor, and I think I'm very grateful for the opportunity. One of the exercises we did there, Naveen, was to ask ourselves why we do what we do,
Yeah.
and how would it inspire us to do this even on the most difficult day,
Yeah.
And I was writing for myself, and I was listening to myself, and I realized what motivates me to go out there and do this every day is that last little girl child who feels helpless or hopeless will experience hope because of you and me. And I think that is the clarion call for every person that who comes to work with us. And I must tell you that clarion call has actually been brilliantly responded to. And I'll give you three perspectives as to how we do this, right? The first one is we I don't consider ourselves an organization. I consider ourselves a movement. You know why? Because we have six people working as what you would call as they actually get a salary, right? But I have about 350 people who do this without any payout or payback other than the fact that you have supported another human being with your time, with your talent, with your kindness, or with your money. It can happen in so many ways, right? So, this is a movement for creating hope. And when girls meet, we have training programs every Sunday, Naveen. I can tell you every one of our training programs has been conducted by some phenomenal leaders from various walks of life, including corporates, and all of them give up a Sunday or many Sundays together to come and train our girls. You know what that means? The girl feels welcome in a world that she did not experience before. Our girls really come from slums. Their annual family income is about 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs for the whole year. And as we go towards our other centers, which is say Madurai or Nelakotai or any of those places, I can tell you the annual compensation is nothing. I don't even think it adds up to 1 lakh rupees. Imagine a family that has to support itself for survival with that kind of money, with about 4 to 5 people in the house. So you can imagine the socioeconomic status, right? But when they come, shake hands with corporate leaders, when they are talking to them on a one-to-one basis, the child thinks, feels, believes that she is an equal. The second thing that we do is we've uncovered what I believe are multiple keys of hope, and there are 7 keys of hope. That's what we have discovered in our journey. The first one is somebody telling them, I'll support you with monetary aid to go to college. And these are partnered programs. We do not give 100% scholarship unless the child has zero support at home, has lost her family members, is a child without parents, etc. Otherwise, usually it is a partnered program with parents, which means we are telling the parent also, you're an equal with us. We are both partnering. You are a parent partner. I am a purposeful partner in getting your girl child into college, right? The second one is really each of our girls have a mentor across the globe. We have about 240 mentors and about 4 coaches from across the globe. And I must place on record my appreciation for ICF Foundation, which has given us coaches. I must say mentors like Kavita, and we have mentors like that across the globe in the US, in Canada, in Germany, in India, and of course, Southeast Asia. Can you imagine a mentor from Germany connects with a child in Madurai? It's an equal conversation of people who are connected over technology, but beyond that, connected over the idea of enabling a girl child. So every girl child gets a mentor. Yeah. The third one that I realized is all our girls came and said, ma'am, when we come meet you on Sundays, meet all the others, experience all these things, it is so exciting. But when we go back home, we face the same situation. So sometimes I think it's nice for you to talk to our mothers. So we invited the mothers, and then we realized the mothers don't need to be spoken to. The mothers want to speak, right? Share their stories, their angst. So we launched this program called Mojo, A Mother's Journey to Hope. We are running a pilot batch to make the mothers financially resilient. They said, "Can I speak English now?" I said, "Okay, we'll try and give you English lessons." So we hope to cover the mothers of all our daughters. So it's a twin program in some ways, right? The mother and the daughter working together. That's the third key of hope. Yeah. Now, when you go and hug a mother who's a maid, that's her identity, they actually begin to feel like more than an equal. They're finally having conversations with you. They're saying, "Ma'am, what else can I do? Can I do a business? Can I learn a new skill?" Now that is establishing equality at a skill level. Then we give them menstrual hygiene packs. We ensure that children get at least one good meal, in fact, 2 good meals, at least on the Sundays we meet them, because the nutritional deficiency is very high. Okay. We try and provide them what I believe is mind shaping training programs, right?
Wow.
That's what we do every Sunday, Naveen. It's not just skills, it's about the way you think, it's the way you believe in your own abilities, and the way you carry yourself forward. Now, that's way beyond skilling. And those training programs happen every Sunday, and our children go through about 150 to 180 hours of interactive training programs with the best in class leaders from the corporate. Now, all of this is supposed to make the child feel that she deserves an equal space in this world. And let me quickly tell you a story. One of our children first went to college, came back and told me, "Ma'am, but those girls don't talk to us." I said, "Who are those girls?" And she says, "Ma'am, my clothes, the way I look, the others don't talk to me." And so you begin to feel like you belong in the fringes, right? And not in mainstream. I said, "You know what? You go and talk to them. You say, 'Hey, I'm your friend. I'm so and so.'" And do you know, when she did that in the first batch itself, I had girls who were, quote unquote, coming from very, very difficult socioeconomic contexts, standing for elections, winning them, becoming, their leaders in their classes, acing their exams. And one of them calls me up one night at about 10 o'clock. She studies in the evening college in St. Joseph's. And she says, "Ma'am, today I spoke to an audience of 300 people. I said, "You know what? There are others struggling to figure out how to talk 101. And here is this child saying, I spoke to some 300 girls. And I think I inspired them, ma'am." Okay. Equality and thinking equal, believing equal, feeling equal, living equal is a leadership trait. It's not just a gender thing for me. It's the ability to walk into a room and know you belong there.
Yeah.
Not like I don't belong there. Is a mindset of equality. And that to me is done by all of these things. It's not one thing. And I always say equality and empowerment is not taught from the pulpit, Naveen. It is to be actioned with people who are left to the fringes. You bring them to mainstream, and just what magic happens. We are experiencing it.
Awesome. I love this story. Like, I think you guys are instilling courage and instilling that hope from scratch, if I may call it, or something which is really impactful. And is there any other story that you could highlight out of the last 3 years brilliant effort that you have put in? Anything that stands out the most? Okay, saying that, "Hey, yeah, this is what gives me kick. Let me do more."
Oh, I have so many stories, but let me speak about a couple of them who might get featured in your podcast too, right? Let me talk about this young kid. Her name is Amulya. Okay, she came to us, I think, in 2020 and said, "Ma'am, I've finished my undergraduate program. I think it was 92, 94%, because that's the kind of marks that Amulya gets." Okay. Not for the faint hearted, I know, but, and she said, "I really need money to study post graduation. I don't have. I studied in a government college. Now I want to study in a good college, ma'am." She said, I said, "Okay." So, and her family story is like most of other children's stories. Difficult socioeconomic context. Her father was not working, and the regular story of someone who wasn't contributing to the family, in fact, making it difficult for the family. And I don't want to get into too much details there, right? Again, the mother was very, very, low on confidence. Because of the current context, right? If you meet many of our mothers, the first thing you ask them, "Hey Gidira" in Kannada, they'll say, "Sustu, madam." Basically they're saying, "I'm tired. I'm tired of this life, not just physically, right? Like, how many do you balance?" She was in that, mind state when we met her. And she had a younger sister. We gave her scholarship and she started studying, and an extremely hardworking, bright, intelligent,
Mm-hmm.
but dreamer.
Yeah.
I will say Amulya's middle name should be a dreamer. Okay. We quickly recognized her talent and we said, "Would you intern with us?" We paid her a very small stipend, I can tell you so much. And, she would continue working. She took on so many responsibilities. She became a role model for the other girls. They will say, Amulya Akka, because she became this Akka within the scene, very, very quickly. She completes her post graduation last December, again with distinction. That 90 to 94%. I can't even put my, wrap my head around to how do you do this consistently kind of stuff. Yeah. Her mother in between comes and says, "Ma'am,
Mm.
now I'm feeling confident to work, ma'am." So I said, "Yeah,
Mm.
then get to work, right? Don't." That Sustu became suddenly, "I'm okay to work. Let me try, right? Because somebody seems like they believe in me. Somebody seems to back me up." And she started working. This child completes her program in December, loses her father to a very unfortunate incident, and then immediately after she completes, gets a job as a research assistant. And today when I look at that family, Naveen, it's not just one child, it's that child, her younger sister, and her mother, right? 1 month ago we held an event just when we launched the Slice of Hope campaign, and the family makes the first contribution to support the education of another girl child. When we received that amount, I don't think in the audience, which included Kavita and others, there was not one person, I think, who wasn't just not touched or moved, but was not having tears. All of this transformation in 2 years of supporting a girl
Wow.
child, in 1 year of getting the mother to believe you can go beyond the sustu, okay,
Right.
and start believing in yourself. That to me is a very, very powerful story. And I think if we can do this for 1 million girls and 1 million of their mothers, I'm telling you, Naveen, we'll unleash something that is so powerful. Uh, I truly, truly believe that's what we should all strive for.
It's almost like you're impacting a country if you are able to achieve that 1 million, not even 1 million. Like if it reaches 100,000, also the impact will be humongous.
Yes,
It's
yes, I totally
awesome.
believe it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it is going to happen for sure because I could see that passion, okay, with which you are driving and the support system and the ecosystem that you have built, right? It is so strong. And the
Thank you.
folks that are listening or watching this episode, stay tuned. Very soon, we are going to interview Amulya on this platform as part of a Slice of Hope series. So stay tuned.
No, I said it's very important to meet up with folks like Amulya. I don't represent 100th
Yeah.
of the courage and conviction of my
Mm.
girls. I can tell you so much. It's not we giving them something, Naveen. It's we receiving, so much. Just looking at them and the way they
Mm.
battle realities and still hold complete faith in that future they can craft for themselves. I mean, to me, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely
Mm.
extraordinary.
And I'm super thrilled. Can't wait to meet Amulya and bring her to
Oh, yes.
the guiding
Oh,
voice.
yes. Absolutely.
All right. So, Jesse, this has been great conversation, and we have been talking a lot of positive aspects, but we didn't touch upon the challenges that you have come across, right? So, what are the challenges that you guys are facing currently, and how can TGV community support you?
The challenge for any for purpose organization, Naveen, is that you have a lot of passion, you have a lot of dreams, but mostly you may never have the resources, right? And so I think we also have the same struggle, right? When we started, we just put whatever little money we had into that bank account and started. We've had some very, very generous supporters through the years, family and friends, and whatever we could muster up as founders and trustees. And we've supported 274 kids so far. And I'm so grateful. Through this medium, I really want to tell thank you to each one of my donors. I want to say a big thank you to all my mentors, because I think without you, that child having that thread of connect, right, with another human being who doesn't belong in the socio-economic system that you belong to and is literally guiding you through life is beautiful. I don't think we could have asked for anything more. So we need, I think what we really, really need is one, a slice of hope in terms of financial aid. It does cost us about 30,000 rupees per year to get a child into college, and then the cost of the meals. You can add everything else. And I must again highlight, a lot of people believe that for purpose organizations somehow, the money goes into other things other than the cause it is meant for. Almost all the money that we raise, Naveen, goes into supporting the girl child, more than 90%. Our operating costs are very, very low. In fact, the only 6 people who we hire are people who work at a community level. They go visit homes, they know the girls. And therefore, for me, any support in the form of funds is welcome. You are helping a girl child go to college. The second thing is, we need a lot of people who amplify not our work, Naveen, the dreams of our girls, because I think they are valid dreams. I want people to realize, we are so careful in nurturing our children, right? Their dreams, their aspirations. We keep asking them, what do you want to become? HopeWorks Foundation works with children who never get asked this question. You know
Yeah.
why? Because their parents are just hoping that they will be able to put 2 meals on the plates, somehow get them through a school. There is no hopeful conversation where you're saying, what do you want to become, my child? It's like, become anything, grow up really quick, just move on, buddy. And it's very painful for parents to be in that state. So if my mentors and facilitators and trainers and just good people could come and talk to my girls and make them realize that they too have a future, that they too could dream about becoming something and contribute their time to build skill, capability, and belief, that's a huge support. And folks like you, who take our children's voices across, I can tell you there can't be greater inspiration than to be found in the lives of our children, in the voices of our children, and in the dreams of our children. What more can be more motivating and inspiring, Naveen? Tell me about it. So to me, that is really the support that I think will really, really help us. Also, right now we are looking at supporting children who could be coming from Manipur. We all know what is happening. We want to
Yeah.
support girls who are coming from there. We've identified quite a few girls who need support to go to college. Truly believe it's not just every day a girl child who's striving or struggling, with the socio-economic situation in which she is born, but also children like this who, for reasons unknown to them, get caught up, right, in circumstances which are beyond them to handle. We support all of them to the best possible extent. During COVID, we supported one girl child who was in 10th grade, was a single parent child. The father had abandoned the family here in Bangalore. The mother died due to COVID, and the child was with a grandparent who obviously couldn't earn, right? And she had a younger brother. So when we spoke to her, she said, ma'am, you give me money, I will study and take care of my brother. This is a child who had just passed 10th standard, Naveen.
Yeah.
And we gave her a scholarship, and the child goes into college, wears a uniform, and then sends us a picture. Completes her 12th grade with first class. You know what it takes to lose your parents.
Yeah.
Live with a grandparent who obviously can at best give you maybe a safety, right?
Yeah.
But nothing more. And still believe I can work hard, I can study, I can build a life and take care of my younger brother. Yeah, that to me is beyond inspiring. It's just so beautiful. So that's why I'm saying, in fact, all of us will do ourselves a big favor, Naveen, if we listen to these stories. We actually will do ourselves a lot of favor and sit down and just talk to them, listen to their stories, and then say, "Wow, this is it."
Yeah.
Just move on. Yeah, it's fabulous.
And it also goes a long way. Like people talk about who inspired you in various forums, and that will be heart touching to know, because I came across this kind of things like when I inspired somebody, I think they shared it at a very large forum where 2,000, 3,000 people have attended, and I got to know about it saying that somebody spoke about it, right? Likewise, it will be so moving, and this is all about joy of giving. So, folks, whoever is interested to contribute to this purpose in terms of money or time or any other resources that you can provide, please reach out to Jessy. Her LinkedIn profile is listed here, and in addition to that, you'll also find her website, the HopeWorks website, hopeskipjump.org. So all the links are available in the show notes or the episode description. So please, my humble request is to please reach out to Jessy and do whatever you can do, because there is nothing more than joy of giving. So you'll find a lot, because I've interviewed many people who are running this for purpose organization. I started using that word, for purpose, Jessy. Okay, so I hear those success stories. They are so motivating, and nothing can buy that kind of happiness. Money cannot buy that kind of happiness. The joy of giving is something which is truly, truly at the peak. It is at the apex, right? So please do so, and contribute in whatever way you can. And again, it need not be huge amount. The amount can start anywhere. And if you are probably not in a stage to help financially, contribute your time, because there are many corporate leaders, executives, coaches who are volunteering and spending their time in terms of grooming a child. Because I also strongly believe if we groom one child, that child in turn might groom three other children, and it goes on like a cascading impact in terms of paid forward principle, right? So likewise, we can create a chain reaction and create a bigger ripple effect. So please join this initiative, and as you are going to hear a lot of stories, right, feel free to reach out to Jessy, or you can reach out to me also, and we can do whatever has to be done. So thank you.
Sure.
And Jessy, this has been fabulous and incredible conversation so far. And now it's time to add some more excitement to the episode. So get ready as we dive into series of intriguing second rapid fire questions, okay, to spice up the episode further.
Sure.
All right, so let's dive in. And here comes my first question. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
If not now, then when? If not us, then who? Make the girl child thrive.
Super powerful. And what is one thing you are really bad at that you wish you were better at?
I think as you age, no, Naveen, you start forgetting things. So sometimes I hope I could remember things a little better. Also, sometimes I think I'm so focused that you sort of miss out on just the small things that are happening around you. I think to sort of look at and enjoy. And I think I wish I could do this. I think the third thing, there are plenty of things that I don't think I'm good at. I think these two would be top of it. The third one is definitely, I think I could plan a little better. Yeah, because there are competing priorities everywhere, and I think it's important to plan a little better. I also have at home quite a bit happening. I have three elders to take care of, so constantly there's a demand on your time, and you can't plan everything. But I hope as I go ahead, I'll also do stuff a little better. Yeah, that's what it is.
Super. Please describe yourself in just one word, other than Jessy.
Passionate.
And it's contagious.
Thank you.
And what's your favorite thing about living in the 21st century?
Oh, just the fact that you are not, you don't feel like you can't do something, right? I want to learn this. I can pick up my phone. When I was a student, you had to run to a library. And to go to a library, you had to ask your parents for bus fare, which they have not planned and budgeted for. I just have to now provide it. Your parents are able to now give the phone, right? I mean, I'm saying right now I can. And what's not to like about the 21st century. Also, there is this lovely book I read, if I think it's Factfulness, which says this is probably the best time to be alive. We are the 1% of the world. If the water is coming inside your house, you're not walking to. If you have footwear to wear, yeah. If you have a two-wheeler, including a cycle to commute, we are 1% of the world, Naveen. What is there to complain? Most of the diseases that killed hordes of people before, we have found medicines for.
Yeah.
Even when COVID came, imagine in 2 years we had something to get back, right? What's not to like about 21st century? I love it. Yeah. I just wish we could have more time with each other, not on the phone, but that, those are the things that we'll have to figure out as we go.
And if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Wow. A superpower? If there is a magic wand that I would have, I'll be setting up a hope chapter in every village in India and ensure children get access to digital devices, to educationists, to education, and to that idea of thinking, believing, feeling, and living equal. Because in the city, you at least have access to some things, but not in the villages. I was traveling in the villages just last month, Naveen, and I can tell you there's a different world.
Yeah.
There is a different. Yeah. And I think if it's a school, and every child needs to have a digital device, not just the good schools. Every school should have digital devices because that's the only way to enable a child. If I had a magic wand, well, that's what I'd really be doing.
Awesome. And here comes the last one for the rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you would like to see or invent yourself?
Wow, that's very interesting. If there's something three-dimensional, like right now, I could sort of shake hands with you, like my son lives in the US, I'm here. And sometimes, you just want to sort of, I just want to hug him. If technology could make that possible, I'll be very happy.
Yeah. Interesting one. That's really good. And probably a great startup idea as always. I think this is something like virtual touch or some feeling that probably makes the near and dear ones closer, right? It makes sense.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then there will be no distance as such.
Yeah,
Great.
I hope so.
Yeah. Great rapid fire. And let's flip back to the mainstream. What will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to create an impact in the society?
I'm no good at giving advice. I genuinely think it's very hard. What's worked for you may not work for somebody else. But what I'd like to see everybody do is just 1+, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you cook a little extra. Maybe there's somebody to whom you can give just one tiffin box, right? In a day, because there are so many hungry people. And we don't have to do, transformative stuff at scale, etc., etc. I'm saying 1+. I think that itself is so exciting. The second is you don't know, every person is carrying some cross, right? Yeah. So maybe we can try and be a little kind, right? Just a little kind. Because everybody's carrying a cross. We don't know what it is, but everybody could be carrying a cross.
Yeah. So. Super nice. And how is your experience being hosted on The Guiding Voice?
Oh, I loved it, Naveen. I think it's been fun. It also helped me, I think, really think of all the things that really keeps me doing what I do, right? I sometimes just have to sit down and sort of think about it too. And this provided me that opportunity. And through your program, if we can reach a lot of people so that they get inspired more than, it's not what they do, it's I hope they can be inspired. Because hope is by nature very inspirational, very contagious.
Superb. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. It was really fun talking to you about HopeWorks Foundation and the impact that you guys are creating. And really appreciate your time, insights, and also keep doing the great work. And TGV community and TGV platform as such is always there for you, right? And we will do the best possible contributions.
Thank you so much, Naveen, and thank you so much, TGV community. Get inspired, be an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks, Kavita, once again for proposing such a wonderful series and connecting me with Jacintha Jayachandran. So, friends, that was our episode with Jacintha Jayachandran, and this is the first one out of 8 episodes from the TGV Slice of Hope series, which is conducted in collaboration with HopeWorks Foundation. And stay tuned for more interviews from this series. We'll feature a mentor, mother, and a few students who are part of this brilliant initiative. And before we dive into the exciting trivia section, we have a small request for you. If you haven't already, we kindly invite you to subscribe to our podcast from wherever you have tuned in, because by subscribing, you will stay updated with our latest episodes, ensuring you never miss out on the valuable content. And if you have enjoyed this episode and found the conversation beneficial, we would be immensely grateful if you could share it with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues or family members who can benefit from the guiding voice. Spread the knowledge and empower others to learn and grow just like you. Your support means a lot to us, and not only your friends will gain new insights, but we will also gain new subscribers, allowing us to continue producing more and more valuable content for you and our growing community. Thank you in advance for your support, and let's embark on this journey of knowledge together and let's inspire the world. All right, now let's hop into the trivia segment. So today's trivia is about girls' education. So having inspired by Jessy's work, part of her HopeWorks Foundation, I thought I would share a few facts related to girls' education. First one is the significant reduction in the number of out-of-school girls over the past 2 decades, from 58 million in 2002, 31 million in 2018, highlights the positive global advancements in girls' education. So whoever has done this, I think we need to give them kudos. And next fact is that the potential economic impact is substantial. And UNESCO estimates that achieving universal secondary education by 2030 could boost women's earnings by $15 trillion, showcasing the far-reaching benefit of investing in girls' education. And the third fact is that the crucial role of mother's education in determining children's access to education underscores the intergenerational impact of educating girls. As children of educated mothers are more likely to succeed in school and be enrolled in it. That's why there is a saying in Telugu which says, if you educate a mother, she will educate the entire village and the entire country. Right? I'm sure it must be there in other Indian states also. But on that note, let's support Jessy and her cause, HopeWorks, because this goes in line with the trivia facts that I've shared as well. I'm also keen to understand what kind of initiatives are you guys driving as part of your for purpose organizations. So please leave your comments if you're watching it on YouTube, or if you have found this episode on social media, you can comment wherever you have found this episode. And that's a wrap for today's episode. And I sincerely appreciate you taking time for tuning in and being part of our incredible community. Folks, we would love to hear from you. Your feedback and ideas means the world to us. Do not hesitate to share your topic recommendations and suggestions for guest speakers also, either through our vibrant social media channels, or you can drop me an email at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. Together, we can create content that truly resonates with you. I'm your host, Navin Samala, a dedicated professional and an insatiable learner. And my mission is to make the world a better place through meaningful conversations that have a lasting impact on your life and also your career. Stay connected with us as we continue this enlightening journey together. And until we meet again, take care, stay inspired, and remember, the best is yet to come. Bye for now. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest.